Hi, welcome to the Miller Life Kitchen. I'm Beth, and today we're talking all about dehydrating. As you can see back here, I have some examples of dehydrating, and I have my Excalibur out. That is what I have just done a dehydrating project on, and I wanted to bring out my Nesco and just show you that the Nesco is a great little dehydrator also. I love this thing. I've had this for years, and I still use it a lot, like when I'm doing my parsleys and herbs. This original was, I purchased the 4 tray, and then I've added 4 more. So I have a total of 8 that I can stack, and it has screens you can put in it. It also has fruit leather trays. So this is a great one. You can get the fruit leather trays for this as well, but you know what I do sometimes is I just use my fruit leather trays from here and put them in my Excalibur. So when I have a small project, Nesco, and what I like about my Nesco is it is quieter than my Excalibur. This one does a really nice job. I do have, which I have it plugged in, I'm done dehydrating, but I do have the one that has a time and temperature. I find that's great, especially when I'm doing like jerkies and things like that. March was frozen food month. So what I love about dehydrating with frozen food is it's already blanched for you. So you don't even have to go through that step. If you're doing fresh things, like for example, potatoes, you would want to blanch that first, because if you don't, the potatoes will become brown, even blackish, if you do not blanch them first. But the ease of preserving food by dehydrating from frozen is, it literally is put it on the tray, turn it on, and let it do its thing. And you have veg all stored up. This is what I did for you. Well, and me and my family. That's what I did in this video, which it's so easy. I didn't even want to insult your intelligence on how to literally, you throw it on the tray, put it in here, turn it on. Because it's frozen, like the first hour to 2 hours, I turn it up to about 130 to 140, and it depends what I'm dehydrating. But this was mixed veg, so there was some larger pieces of like your green beans and some lima beans, and there's some potatoes in there as well. So I did 135, and I let it go for an hour or 2 on that, just to get the condensation out of the machine and to defrost it almost, if that makes sense. Then I turn it down, and I'd rather do it a little slower and a little longer, especially when there's potatoes involved and things like these larger pieces of green beans, because you can get case hardening, especially in the case of a potato. The outside could feel done, but the inside is not. So lower and slower to me is fine. What I did for this is I literally turned it on and I did it overnight. So it probably was in there, I get up early, so maybe 9 hours, but it probably was done before I got up. But everything was done when I got up, and that's how it looks when it's done. That's it. Looks great, right? So once you cool it down, let it cool down a minute, and then check it, because another thing is when it's hot, it's sometimes hard to tell. Like I said, I did it overnight, so I knew it was 100% fine. Then I take, hold on. I have stuff everywhere here to talk to you guys about. I take parchment paper, I lay it out, and then I just create a funnel, and I use a funnel over my jar. Create a funnel with your parchment paper, and that way all the little bits don't go everywhere too. But parchment paper, this over a jar, in it goes. Easy, easy breezy. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is I don't even know how many bags this is, but this was 3 bags, and I think they were, I don't remember, I'd have to look back. I don't know how many pounds the bags were. They weren't like the huge ones, but they were like, not the little ones, they were like a medium-sized bag. But you saw that in the beginning. So that is one of my favorite things, which as you can see, I'm getting low. I'm gonna do that next. This is peas and carrots. I just wanted to tell you a really great idea for these. The reason I go through the peas and carrots one really quickly is I make fried rice a lot. And what I did is I have my kettle heating, and I wanted to show you how easy it is to rehydrate this, and then you just use it in whatever you're using it in. In the case that I'm talking about now is fried rice. So fried rice is, eggs and peas and carrots and soy sauce and all of that fun stuff. My teenage daughter, she loves that. So that's one of her faves. I make it quite often. And a lot of times I don't even use fresh. I use my dehydrated. Easy, right? So I need to do more of this, which I'm going to be doing again shortly. But I wanted to show you literally how easy it is to rehydrate. So I have my kettle going. So put a little bit of this in here, and while I'm talking, we can check back. I heated up my kettle to 212, and I'm literally just gonna cover it with water. That's all I do. And then I let it sit. It'll take a minute. But yeah, that's it. That's how I rehydrate it to make my fried rice. How easy is that, right? So, I wanted to show you also just a few other things. This is a frozen bag of those potatoes O'Brien. Has peppers in there, some onions, and cubed potatoes. You can also get frozen hash browns. Can't speak today. Frozen hash browns do the same thing. Make a casserole. Easy, right? Again, you can just rehydrate this too. You know what? Let's do it. Let's try it. Now this one is vacuum sealed. That was a good seal, right? And just pour a little bit in here. I'll have to reseal that. I don't use those a lot. That's why they're vacuum sealed. So that's probably your next question, which we'll go over in 2 seconds. Pour some water over this. And we'll rehydrate that also. So we got 2 of them going. I can see my peas and carrots are already getting to where they need to be. The carrots are going to take a little longer than peas because they get a little bit harder. So another thing I just wanted to point out is this is from my container gardening last year. This is parsley. I have a bunch of these. There is nothing better than the smell and flavor of homegrown, or buy it at your local farmer's market, but local homegrown parsleys that are dehydrated. You will never get a little container of it at the grocery store that will be as flavorful and fragrant as doing your own herbs. And that's what I was saying about my little Nesco is. I love to just pick them off as I have them and do little batches. And just keep putting it in jars. So there's that. All right, so next, do you vacuum seal or do you not? I only use the vacuum seal attachments that go on my food saver, and they are for mason jars. So you would put this over top. This is my wide mouth, and this is the small mouth. And you vacuum seal it, and then it is good for years. Some people only say 2 years, but I think it's good forever, really. That's my opinion. As you can see in my little bag that I keep them in, I have some cupcake wrappers. Here's an example. This is powdered eggs. I scrambled regular eggs, put them on my fruit leather trays from my Nesco, but I dehydrated it in my Excalibur. I just took the round leather trays and put them on a tray without the screen. And this is my egg powder. This is a year old. And I don't know if you could see, but it's still completely powdery. Now, what I wanted to show you, my whole point to it is, oh, I also put the directions on here. So I know how to use it if I ever need to. I haven't really ever run out of eggs, but hey, it was an experiment. I saw it on Rain Country, and I thought, I'm gonna give it a try. That was before eggs cost what they do now. But notice here, I have a cupcake wrapper. That is great to put in the top and then vacuum seal, so you don't pull the powder out and it ruins your tubing for your vacuum sealing. So I just wanted to add that little tip. I also would think a question for you is this. This is a question I had when I first started dehydrating. To use a desiccant or to not use a desiccant. I got these after I started dehydrating. These are reactivated. You can put them in the oven and reactivate them. So they also have some color gauging to tell when there's too much absorption and you need to rejuvenate your packs. I got this on Amazon in case you're wondering, but I put these in most of my stuff that I'm gonna be in and out of. For example, I said this we use a lot. I'm in and out of these a lot. I don't have it in here right now because literally there's nothing left. And it's wintertime. But where I live, it gets very humid. So if you have any humidity and you're gonna be in and out of your jars, I always put one or two of these in, like depending. Like a big one like this, I probably put 2 or even 3. And as I'm filling it, I'll put like one towards the bottom, one in the middle, and one on top. That's just how I do it. They're rechargeable, so it's not really a waste. This was vacuum sealed, so I did not put one in here. Now that it's open, and if I decide to not reseal it with vacuum sealing, I probably will stick one in there, but I probably most likely will be resealing that. Lastly, I just wanted to show you corn. A couple peas fell in there, but whatever. And look it, I have a mason jar plastic lid on here because I go in and out of this a lot. My grandbabies like corn, so that's great when I need corn quickly. I store these over the winter in a cool, dark place. Look how nice this still is. I have 2 left. I haven't decided yet. Am I gonna can this? Or are we just gonna eat some squash roasted? Love it like that. I haven't decided, or am I gonna dehydrate? But the reason I brought this up was I do have a squash dehydrating video, and I have some that I just kept in like flakes, and then I have some that I made into a powder. So that is the reason I brought that up, so you can check out my squash video if you've never done that. Putting the powder in soups and stuff like that just gives it a really nice flavor that you're like, that's in there. And it did a little something, something, but I don't think people were like, that's squash. But I love squash. It just gives that little bit of sweetness. I love to put squash powder in pasta too. It's really, really good. One last thing, you do not have to rehydrate like I'm doing for my 2 examples today. If you're throwing this stuff in soups and stews, throw it in. Just make sure you add a smidge more water because it will have to reconstitute and rehydrate. So let me check my notes. Yeah, I think I have everything in here. I think we talked about it. Nice. Oh, conditioning. I did miss something. So conditioning, that's really important. So once you have your dehydrated stuff into your jar, do not vacuum seal it right away. What you're gonna do is keep checking it and then making sure everything has been dehydrated properly if there's any moisture in it. Yeah, you want to make sure there's no moisture in it. So just keep shaking it every day for 5 to 7 days and keep checking it. So that's it. That's how easy dehydrating is. Now let's check out. It's probably been maybe 5 minutes. I'm gonna bring you down and let's check this out here. Yeah, these are still a little firm, but you know what? I'm going to get it out. onto a plate. I'm not that organized today. I thought I was, but I guess I'm not. I'm winging it here, guys. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see when I poke it. See that? It's still a little firm, but that's only a couple minutes. You could literally fry these up then in a pan for breakfast, right? Awesome. Okay, moving on. So I would just keep letting those dehydrate. You could even cover it if you want, just for the sake of, that was definitely on the fly rehydrating project. I did not cover it. So here's how our carrots and peas are looking. The peas are done, most of them. And the carrots, I can see, need a little more time. But let me just get some out of here. Yeah, that pea's definitely done. The carrots are a little hard yet. Now, this was the frozen package where it's the cubed, like the cubed, not strips. Sometimes I just use I shred my own carrots. Then I blanch them. And then I dehydrate them, and I'll use those in my stir fry. So it just depends. Stir fries and my fried rice. But this is really easy and quick when I go, I get home from work or it's been a busy day and my daughter's like, can you make rice? And, oh, okay. So it's quick and easy. What I think I would do is just put a little more water in there because you can see it sucking it up, both of them. So I'm just going to put a little more hot water in here. That's it. Gonna keep them going. So that's everything today for my little dehydrating video. And give it a try. And if you don't have a dehydrator, oh, here's a whole bunch of peas. I just got these out just to show you also the lids. I'm as you can see, we started this. So when I go in and out a lot, I don't necessarily need a canning lid. So if you want to look for a beginning dehydrating appliance that's very cost effective, I would start with the Nesco. You can do anything with the Nesco. It just takes sometimes a little bit longer and you have to rotate the trays. But other than that, that's not really a big deal. So like I said, I still use mine. Depends on what projects I'm doing and if I'm lazy or not and want to drag this sucker out. It's just easier to just go grab the box out of the garage. I do keep this in the box still when I'm not using it, but it's so heavy. So there are some disadvantages and advantages to both of them, but there is nothing wrong with having your little Nesco. Back when I bought this, they were like $50. I don't know what they are now, to be honest. I haven't checked, but very affordable, very affordable. Probably best place to start. And also it's a good way to see, am I actually even going to do dehydrating before you invest in something like this? This is the 9 tray Excalibur, but I dehydrate probably everything under the sun. And I went from this for years, and then one day I said, you know what, it's time. I'm going big boy. So that's it. But I've had this now a few years and I love them both and I still use them. So that's it for my dehydrating video today. Thank you for coming along. I hope you got some useful information today. And easiest way of all to keep food for your family for more longer term. These guys, even if you're in and out of them, I'd say easy 1 year, even if you're opening and closing it again without vacuum sealing. So it's a really great way to preserve food instead of canning or freezing. So give it a try. Thank you for coming along today. If you like what you saw here today, hit the thumbs up. I totally would appreciate that. I know a lot of times I forget to do it too. I watch a video, I like it, but I don't really like it. So you got to remember to hit that button. And then if you're considering learning more information about cooking, canning, and I started some new projects that I have never done, meaning my green stocks. I am not affiliated. I bought them with my own money, but I've been looking at them for probably 2 or 3 years, and I said, this year's the year. So, yeah, come along, and I look forward to you joining me. Thank you, and have a great day.